the idea of toll houses is that after the person dies, that the soul begins a journey. And that journey, and it's debated, is it a 3-day journey? Is it a 40-day journey? I've seen both, in the thoughts that are put out there. And that in this journey, there are certain pit stops along the way, right? Where the soul is inquired of or really tempted by demons, right? So the idea of toll houses they're like these pit stops as the soul is journeying towards what they call the particular judgment versus the universal judgment. So that means the difference that they're talking about is that you are judged when you die, God forbid, many years from now. But then there is the final judgment when the end of time comes and Christ comes the second time. And, there is that distinction. So anyways, it's on your journey towards the individual or the particular judgment. And the demons are there to tempt you and test, almost as if they are, checking. I'm trying to get this teaching right. They're trying to check and see if you have a debt of some sort that you need to pay it off somehow. And your guardian angel is there to try to protect you. And if the demons, prevail in any of these toll houses, that you are then, God permits you to be dragged off by the demons, obviously, to go to hell type of thing. And there are varying lists, numerical lists, but there are like 20 toll houses, with, different sins at each stop, foul talk or slanderous talk is one of them, lust, greed, it has all these, lists. I think it's a list of 20. That kind of thought has both people who are totally in favor of it and those who are totally against it. Right. So there was a guy in the Orthodox Church in Northern California named Father Seraphim Rose. He wrote extensively. He was like 60s, right? Wasn't he the 60s or 70s? So. Not that long ago.
Not that long.
He was a big proponent of toll houses, and many people who like him and like that, perspective say that he was right in talking about toll houses. And the final part is that there are, conversely, there are also many others who, before I even go into the converse, there is a record of toll houses, or at least something similarly. They even use the word telonis, which means a tax collector or a toll house in Greek. It's written about in authors like saints of the church, like St. John Chrysostom, or Basil the Great speaks about it. John of Damascus speaks about it. There's a patristic record. Those who are now to go back, who are against this teaching, make reference to the fact that there's nothing, scriptural about it. There are scriptural texts that people who are proponents of toll houses quote to say, see, but there's nothing that directly says in scripture, this will happen and this will happen. There are some non-scriptural texts that have that. The Gospel of Mary, one of these Gnostic texts, has that. And because of that, many of those who are against the idea of toll houses say, see, it's Gnostic. It's in this Gospel of Mary, which is clearly a Gnostic text. And for those who may not know, Gnosticism was an early heresy in the church, and early and lingering, right? I mean, it's still going to this day, I guess, in some sense. So there are, those who are in favor and those who are not. And so really the conversation, now having said that, I'll stop, yapping away, but what do we do with that? Because there are a lot of people who are coming into the Orthodox Church and they read Rose and they read, this kind of stuff, and they think that it's, a thing, or they wonder, is it a thing? Are toll houses a real thing?
Yeah. My take on it is, in general, don't jump there. Like when you're coming into the church, don't jump to all of these kinds of readings. Like you got to build a foundation, and that foundation should start with scripture, and then build on that foundation with, some of the stuff that's kind of easier to digest.
Yeah.
Don't jump all the way like, hi, I'm a catechumen. It's really exciting to be in this Orthodox church. I really liked liturgy the other day. What are your thoughts on toll houses? Yeah. Like, we're going a little bit far. Like you need, when we jump down there, we lose all of the process to get to a place where we can actually see that within a certain context that then allows us to understand things in certain ways. And it's exciting. We do that though because it's exciting and it's new and it fills in the blanks, and we think that it's answering questions to these unanswerable questions that we've been struggling with our whole lives. Like, we all want to know what happens when we die.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to know what happens. What's life after death like, right? I mean, Biggie did a whole album called Life After Death where he's talking about it. And there's just stuff like that all over the place in popular culture. So then when we find it in a religious context, we think that that makes it right and okay, and then we jump into it and want to go down that.
Thank you for watching this short clip from our crucifixional live stream. We appreciate you tuning in. If you liked it, and if you want more, you can access the full episode by clicking right here. Like, seriously, right now, click right there and get some.